welcome. Today I will be showing you how I made this sterling silver and Swiss blue topaz cocktail style ring. This is the setting that I already made. It's made from gallery wire and I soldered on a little bit of round wire underneath. This is me just checking the size of the stone against the setting to make sure it's going to fit. I used the gallery wire and then using my half round pliers I bent it around to get the shape of the stone. Once I bent it round, I checked the final shape, and when it was right, I cut along the line and I soldered it together, as you can see here. Once soldered, I then filed along the side to make it so that it was flush against the setting. Here I'm using my half round file. I then buffed it. I have these buff sticks I got from Cooks and Gold. I just went all the way around, making sure it's nice and smooth and has no scratches whatsoever. And then on the underside of the setting, I went over it again with my file and my buff stick. Here I'm just buffing around the edges to make sure it's nice and comfortable when it's worn as a ring. Getting all the sharp edges off and making it nice and round and comfortable. I then got the round wire that I was using for the shank, and with my half round pliers again, I started bending it round into a rough ring shape. Like so, leaving enough room for the setting. On my steel block, I then hammered just the ends to make it a little bit thinner and to flower it out a little bit, like so. Just checking, and then just filing the edges to make it a little bit smoother and a little bit more uniform. I then went over it again with my buff stick. Flattened it out with one of my burrs that I have, or you could use a file if you don't have a pendant drill. I then checked the size to make sure that the setting fit in perfectly. This is me just using a paintbrush to paint on my flux to stop the oxides getting in the way of my soldering. I used hard solder and placed them just between the joins, and then heated it up, focusing the heat mainly on the shank because it's thicker, soldered together. I then cut off most of the claws, leaving 8, 2 in each corner. I then carefully set the stone, and using my beret or safety file, I filed along the claws carefully, being careful not to scratch the stone at all. Just rounding off the claws and making sure they won't catch on any fabrics or anything at all and won't bend outwards. I then got my tripoli and one of my polishing burrs and went around all the sides of the ring, polishing it up before the final polish, which is here, using my cotton burr and just doing the final polish around the outside and around the shank. After being in the ultrasonic then for a few minutes just to get out the extra polish, I used a polishing cloth, and here it is complete. Swiss blue and sterling silver topaz cocktail style ring. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do come and watch me make things live over on twitch.tv/ElvinAimee. I'll put the link in the description. Thanks again. See you next time.